I'm not going to deny it. I've been a little bullpup curious lately. I'm not giving up on my AR-15s anytime soon, but I've definitely been impressed with the performance that you can get out of many popular bullpup designs, such as the Steyr AUG, the IWI Tavor, and the VHS-2 imported by Springfield as the Hellion. Bullpups are generally more maneuverable than AR-15s by virtue of the fact that their center of mass is very far to the rear of the gun, and because the chamber's behind the trigger, this means that you get a much longer barrel and a much shorter overall package. It's easier to hold at the ready. Most popular bullpup options are also piston driven, which can lead to better reliability than the AR-15s. Still pretty good gas impingement system, but with the added bonus of also having multiple gas settings, say for suppressed, unsuppressed, adverse use, unlike the AR-15. Now, one historical bastion for the AR-15 over the pragmatic piston-operated bullpup design has been accuracy, but I think many people underestimate how accurate bullpup rifles can be. I will prove this point today. Maybe. I think I will. We'll see. About a year ago, I reviewed the VHS-2, aka the Springfield Hellion. I prefer saying VHS for a couple of reasons. One, that's what it's called in Croatia, where the rifle was adopted for military use. Two, Hellion's kind of cringe. Three, I also found a garbage bag full of vivid videotapes in my dad's storage closet when I was 14, so anything VCR related just gives me the warm and fuzzies. If you check out that video, the review, not my dad's garbage bag tape collection, you'll see that there's plenty of anecdotal data, actual testing evidence to suggest that the VHS is a durable and reliable design, or I guess you can just watch that video because Ryan and I severely mistreated this poor pup in our initial review. Ever since, the VHS has been blowing up in popularity. All the reviews of this gun are good. Buyers seem to love it too now that there's more supply and the street price is normalized a bit. Springfield's even continuing to offer more models, having recently introduced 18 and 20-inch variants to accompany the 16-inch model. And you can get a VHS in gray, OD green, or FDE. I love it. Something I noticed in that first review video, the VHS is shockingly accurate. We were getting 1.5-inch tight groups from a regular old service rifle, plain M855 mil-spec ammo, and a 1:8x LPVO. I even wondered aloud in that video. I'm really curious to see what this rifle could do with a more powerful optic and match ammo, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to push the VHS to its limits to see what it's really capable of in terms of accuracy. And even if I tell you that I was surprised at the results, because I was, you're still going to be surprised at the results too, because, I mean, just wait till you see it. I got to string you along a little bit. So we took a stock Hellion. In fact, the same one we beat up in that earlier review and ran through a car wash. We simply dropped a Bushnell Elite XRS-2 4.5 to 30x optic on it to squeeze as much accuracy as possible out of it. Ryan and I each shot 2 5-round groups of 8 different types of ammo with grain weights ranging from 40 all the way to 77 grains. Is the Springfield VHS-2 accurate? We're going to find out today. We've got the Bushnell XRS optic. That's one of their high-end optics. I don't know if they make it anymore, but it's always served me well. We're going to use a whole host of different types of fine ammunitions, if you will. Federal, Varmint, and Predator. This one has always been good to us. This is a light 40 grain, but for some reason it has always shot really, really, really well in all of these tests. We're moving on to the M193. This is your standard 55 grain mil-spec ammo, usually sucks. X-Tac 55 grain, PMC, this is usually a tick better than your generic M193s. We've got 64 grain Federal Power Shock. We've got PPU Match, which I have always shot really well. It is in Noise grain. Then moving to a 73 grain, we've got Federal Premium Gold Medal Burger, which is a target round. And then finally, the heaviest stuff, we've got S&B Tactical 77 grain hollow point boat tail. So we're going to try it all today. We're going to be here all day at the range seeing if the Hellion can shoot worth a heck, huh? And with what ammo it does best. It was simple too. We fired prone from a $40 Caldwell shooting bag, and we would let the rifle cool off for a couple of minutes every 10 rounds we fired. So in this video, I'm taking the best 2 groups that we fired from the 8 different types of ammo, averaging them for the results for each type of ammo respectively. So what do you think? Lock in your votes before you watch the video. Did we shoot a sub-MOA 5-round group at 100 yards with this gun or not? Make a prediction in the comments. Go back and edit your comment after you watch the full video. So here we go, from the most to the least accurate ammo. Number 8, the worst, but the worst, not so bad. Wolf Gold M193. I stacked 4 rounds on top of each other with a 0.4-inch group, but unfortunately I had a 5th round flyer that opened up the group to 2.5 inches. Ryan's best group was a 2.2-incher, bringing this average to about a 2.35-inch group at 100 yards. Wolf WM193, aka Wolf Gold, gets a bad rap because it is bad. No, it's not. It's really not that bad. Next, MagTech M193, another 55 grain M193 round, very similar to the Wolf Gold, so there wasn't really much of an accuracy difference here. MagTech Tactical, plain Jane, missionary position, M193 55 grain ammo. That's likely for the reason because they're both M193. Our 2 best groups were a 1.9-inch group and a 2.6-inch group for a 2.25-inch average. Not bad at all for mil-spec ammo. In fact, pretty good. So let's pause and observe that we still have 6 more ammo types to go over, and our worst group from the worst ammo we shot was a 2.6-inch group, which is perfectly acceptable accuracy for a stock combat rifle with an optic. Number 6, our 3rd worst group was with 55 grain PMC X-Tac. PMC X-Tac, kind of an M193 type in that it's 55 grain. It's a full metal jacket boat tail. Got a boat tail. Means the back of the bullet looks like a boat, supposed to help with aerodynamics, I think. Ballistics, trajectory, tragistics or something. Note that our 3 worst groups were all with 55 grain. I think that's by virtue of the fact that 55 grain's generally a budget or mil-spec plinking range round, not really a target round typically. The PMC shot the best out of the 55 grain options, most likely because it uses a boat tail projectile. The 2 best groups were a 1.4-inch group and a 2-inch group, bringing us to a 1.7-inch average. Now we're getting to the middle of the pack, and our 4th worst group was with Federal 64 grain Power Shock. This is a traditional projectile. Federal calls it affordably priced. It's a hunting round. There's nothing special about it, but it still costs $1 a round. Rumor has it this is just a cheaper rebadged version of Federal's vaunted true ammo, or tactical rifle urban ammo. It blazes though. So who would have thought one of the best groups of the day would be with just regular ass hunting ammo? 1.2-inch group. I managed to get a 1.2-inch group. Ryan got a 2-inch group, leading to a 1.6-inch average using Bubba's deer ammo. Number 4 is for 4T grain. We have Federal Varmint and Predator. I've been called both, by the way. Just a little fella, little 40 grain round. So the smallest round I'm aware of for 223. Varmint and Predator is traditionally a top performer in our tests in spite of being another budget hunting round. Ryan's best group, 1.1 inches. My best group, 1.85 inches. So we're calling VP an 1.5-inch group average. I've seen this for 35 bucks for a box of 50. So it's a really good precision option if you don't mind lighter 40 or 50 grain rounds. Number 3, S&B 77 grain tactical. I have been to this factory. I love my guys at S&B, so I hope this performs well. If we were shooting 4-shot groups, this would be the champ and we would have crushed it, because Ryan and I both put 4 rounds each into 1/2-inch groups. And we both ended up with 1.3-inch groups that were virtually identical, meaning S&B came in at a 1.3-inch average. I've seen this ammo for 18 bucks a box, meaning it's slightly cheaper than the Power Shock while performing better, so dollar to performance, this is a really good option. Second best groups of the day, 73 grain Federal Burger Match ammunition. Gold medal Burger. I'm a little hungry now. I shot a 1.2 inch group, Ryan shot a 1 inch group, giving us an average of 1.1 inches. This is really accurate stuff, but it's also $1.25 to $1.50 a round. Thus far, we have shot 28 5-round groups and we've managed one 1 inch group. MOA is technically 1.047 inches at 100 yards, but that's too close to call to say if the Hellion is a sub-MOA gun. 1 MOA? Definitely. But with the right ammo, is it sub-MOA? The answer is a resounding hell yeah, brother. Or Hellion. Yeah, brother, I guess. My favorite ammo, the old PPU 69. 69 grain, noise. 69 grain boat tail match. Ryan and I both shot sub-MOA groups. I swung the best group of the whole day with the Hellion. But then we got this little fella, this cute little fella right here, coming in at 0.75 inches. That is a sub-MOA group with a combat rifle. While Ryan smashed a 0.95 inch group at 100 yards, meaning that we averaged 0.85 with our two best groups. And you knew it had to be the 69 grain ammo that shot the best. So what did we learn? For one, we learned that the Hellion is amazingly accurate for a service rifle. Averaging our 16 best groups, the Hellion shot tighter than 1.6 inches across all ammo types and grain weights we used. Speaking of that, unlike Cracker Barrel, the Hellion does not discriminate. The 55 grain rounds we used were the least accurate, but they were also the cheapest, the most common mil-spec type rounds. We got a 1.1 inch group with 40 grain Federal Varmint and Predator, which is super lightweight, but our best groups were with the 4 rounds that were 64 grains or heavier. Maybe this means that the Hellion, with its fast-ish 1 7 inch twist barrel, prefers the heavier ammo, or maybe it just means that ammo that uses heavier projectiles tends to be higher quality, maybe a little column A, a little column B. In any event, still, one of the best groups of the day was with 40 grain ammo. So I'm not sure how much the grain weight matters versus the ammo quality. The Hellion was consistent too. As mentioned, our 16 best groups from all ammo types gave us a 1.57 inch average, while our 8 best groups, or the best group for each different type of ammo, gave us a teensy 1.35 inch average. And I have to mention, we accomplished this feat despite the Hellion having arguably the worst trigger of all the major bullpups. While the AUG and the Tavor are nothing to be proud of, from the factory at least, you do have outstanding third-party options for both of those guns. Geisley makes a trigger for the Tavor, that's excellent. Ratworks makes a $99 sear for the AUG. Just a drop-in upgrade, it gives it an outstanding trigger as well. But as we sit here today, I'm not aware of any trigger upgrades for the VHS, but by God, it could use it. It really could use a trigger upgrade. It's 8.5 to 9 pounds, guys. Unfortunately, with the trigger being so far away from the chamber and the hammer, you basically need a stretched out wire coat hanger in order to get your trigger at the front of the gun to trip the hammer at the back of the gun. While pulling the trigger on an AR-15 is a lot like opening a can of Miller Lite. Pulling the trigger on most bullpups is like opening a can of Miller Lite, but I don't know, with a stretched out wire coat hanger. It's just not as responsive. Even so, I can say with authority that we proved today that the Hellion is a sub-MOA gun, even with the SpongeBob trigger that it comes with from the factory. Guys, thanks as usual for watching. Thank you to our sponsors, Ventura Munitions. They supplied all this wonky ammo that we use in this video, so if you want to pick it up, go check them out. As usual, a big shout out to Top Gun Supply, your online shooting sports superstore. If you would like to win one of 6 $250 gift certificates that we give away every single month to Top Gun Supply, make sure that you support us on either Player or preferably Subscribe Star. Look for TFBTV there. Support us. If you're at the $4.99 level or higher, you are automatically entered every single month to win one of these gift certificates. But we're just appreciative that you're tuning in. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.